Attorneys representing the family of Tyre Nichols are pointing out one of the recent updates in the investigation that seems more than a little bit suspicious, and it has to do with the only known as of this point white police officer that was involved in the killing of Tyre Nichols, seeming to get some special treatment. So Memphis Police Department has recently confirmed that Officer Preston Hemphill, who, if the name wasn't enough for you to know, is white, was relieved of duty and put on paid administrative leave pending the outcome of the investigation. So eventually he gets put on, he's relieved of duty or whatever. Not nearly as bad as what's happened with the other cops. But lawyers point out that Hemphill can be seen on body camera footage released by the Memphis PD last week. He's violently pulling Nichols from the car while hitting him on the ground with a taser, later saying, quote, "I hope they stomp his ass after he runs away." Well, in this case, Preston Hemphill got his wish, got the stomping that he wanted. Now he can live with that for the rest of his life. Imagine like knowing that you have a video camera broadcast, like recording on your chest saying, "I hope they beat the hell out of that person." And you get what you want. The lawyers have added, why is his identity and the role he played in the death just now coming to light? Because bear in mind, this investigation has been going on for some time. The other identities were revealed. They had been fired and eventually charged. Why was this one guy being shielded and protected from the public eye, they say? And a lot of people are speculating, and it's wild speculation, I know, that maybe the fact that he was the white individual in this case might have had something to do with that. Elise, what do you think about this case that the lawyers for the Nichols family are saying?
Is that too far-fetched of an idea that, hey, we've seen this video, it's brutal, we got to get ahead of things. So let's charge the black officers involved, and we'll worry about this white guy later. And it just doesn't seem in this country with responses in general to police brutality that we're going to do the least that we possibly can for accountability. And just the note on his reaction and his commentary with the body camera, it really just highlights how police know how much power there is behind them, that they don't believe that they will ever be held accountable. They can say whatever they want, they can do whatever they want with video cameras, and they have this belief that nothing bad's gonna happen to them.
Yeah, they're confident. No, like think about the level of confidence that you would have to have. Again, like as we were talking about, because we've been talking about this now for several days. It's not just that all of them have cameras on their chest. I don't know what has to be happening to you psychologically and emotionally that you would do the things that they do, literally knowing that you have a camera in your chest. Have you ever heard? There's like one of the things that people say. It's like a cliche for how to live a good life or whatever. It's I had heard it growing up. It's like live like your dead grandma's watching you from heaven or whatever. Like live like your relatives are watching you, and only do the things that you'd be comfortable doing if you knew they were watching. Would that stop them at this point? Because you're on camera, you know that. How does that not stop you? But beyond that, they've been cops since 2017. People are saying most of them started around 2017. How many incredibly high profile national killings of unarmed people, the scandals related to that, have they been through as cops? They've seen news cycle after news cycle after news cycle. They've seen the George Floyd protests. They've seen endless cases like this. And then they go and chase that person and they just beat him to death. Nothing in the context, nothing in the accountability, nothing in the training, nothing was enough to get them to stop. I'm not even saying not to do it at all. Even mid-beating for them to stop. At some point for one of them to say, I think we got him. It's crazy how little has any effect at all, Elise.
Yeah, and it's less about don't you know the consequences and more, do you identify with the people in your community as police officers? Why did you become a cop? What was your goal? Was it to make your community safer? Because you'd think they wouldn't even have escalated to the situation, but in this situation, like, what am I doing right now? What have I become? I mean, I don't know how training police officers gets to the point of just separating them from their community, but also separating them from their humanity. Because these are real people, and police officers are real people, and somehow through training or through hanging around with their buddies all the time, they've convinced themselves that they're superior, that they're outside of accountability, that they aren't really members of the places that they live.
Yeah, it's obviously there is something fundamentally dehumanizing happening where they start to see those people as something else, something lesser, something that does not need to be protected, something that does not need to be served. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.